Thanks very much, Jeremy. We've now come to the final part of the night where the two chairpersons will sum up, and we'll start with Arthur for Devilsbit for the opposition. And again, it's the same at the time, 6 minutes, bell ring at 5, and there'll be no heckling.
Cordia, thanks for like bad penny and back around again, and Felicity for another few minutes. What I'm going to do for you here now is I'm going to just sum up some of our objections to what was said by the proposition here tonight, and to remind you of the arguments that we put forward. And the general thrust of our argument, time and again, I want to say to you is that beyond a mere fiscal issue, this is a political issue, this is a societal issue, and it's a broader economic issue beyond simple balance of payment issues. Tim raised the issue of our political consciousness and how it is improved and developed by our artists and has been throughout history. Con could best be summed up in the phrase by the French philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau: Je pense, je suis, j'attends. I think, therefore I am. Con showed us that we are more than just beasts in the field, more than just animals, that what sets us aside is the fact that we can create culturally. And finally, Jura there proved the economic benefits of the arts and cultural funding in this country. Now, I'd like to just address some of the comments from our colleagues in the proposition here. And with due respect, Una, I would like to point out to you that you failed to define what you meant by funding, you failed to define what you meant by arts and culture, and you failed to define what was meant by the timescale. Therefore, you could be talking about totally abolishing funding for all time, because we really don't know for what length of time you wanted this funding to be suspended. And I then would like to move to Nora, who said that there was no benefit to the economy from art. And I think Ger gave us 6 minutes of proof to the contrary. He has shown us that ultimately the small figures that we spend on arts, the tax breaks to places like Ardmore Studios, etc., has created jobs, has given us economic benefits, has brought in much needed cash from outside the country. Even though, as I said from the start, we don't want to just think about this as a purely cash problem. Karen attacked the Gathering Initiative. And again, I want to go back to Ger and show that by promoting ourselves overseas, we bring in tourism funding, and that these events, which do, as you rightly say, take place on a daily basis, on a yearly basis, that they are highlighted to the world to show the magnificence of the Irish people and the culture and the society. And I believe that this is a laudable concept. And Stephen, aside from the very upsetting ad hominem attacks on some of our members here, which I thought was really unworthy, and potential defamation that I won't repeat, you were completely off topic. You mentioned nothing about the arts, so I have nothing to counter your speech with. I apologise. Nora Ray mentioned funding to the Hugh Lane Gallery. It's very interesting that here tonight in 2013, the Hugh Lane Gallery will be mentioned, because in September 1913, W.B. Yeats, as a result of a failure to provide a small subscription by the shopkeepers of Dublin to Sir Hugh Lane, Ireland lost the potential for one of the greatest galleries in Europe, and W.B. Yeats was forced to write about the small-mindedness of the Irish people that had depressed him. What need you, being come to sense, but fumble in the greasy till and add the halfpence to the pence of prayer to shivering prayer, until you've dried the marrow from the bone? For man was born to pray and save. Romantic Ireland is dead and gone, it's with O'Leary in the grave. Romantic Ireland would not only be dead, it would be well and truly buried if the proposition got their way here tonight. And I can tell you this much, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you this much here and now. We live in a nation, the Irish nation, not the Irish economy, filled with human beings, not human resources. We are not just mere economic units. We are a people with a mind and a soul to be fed and created, a people that has achieved so much for a nation so small, and most of this comes from our cultural background. And if this motion is to be accepted tonight, then, in the words of that artist W.B. Yeats, we will have disgraced ourselves again. I finish with this.